Good morning and welcome to the Big Story right here on the BDTV Breakfast Show. My name is Elizabeth Musa. The internal wrangling within Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has taken a dramatic turn. Over the weekend, the PDP broke into two rival factions following the suspension of key national officers, indulging its National Secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, and three others by the National Working Committee led by the acting chairman, Umar Damagum. The decision, according to the party's constitution, was based on allegations of anti-party activities. But that move has now triggered a full-blown internal revolt. In a countermeasure, Senator Anyanwu convened an emergency NWC meeting of his own, announcing the suspension of acting chairman Ilia Damagum, the National Publicity Secretary Demola Olarenwaju, and several other officials also joining the train. Each faction now claims legitimacy and insists it is acting in line with the PDP constitution. What began as internal discipline is now an open power struggle that threatens to tear the party apart from within. So what does this really mean for the PDP's stability heading into future elections, and how really might this internal chaos affect its position as Nigeria's leading opposition platform? Joining me on the Big Story this morning is Demola Olarenwaju, Senior Political Assistant to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and a seasoned political analyst. Welcome to the show, Mr. Olarenwaju.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much for being here this morning. The conversation today, really, many observers describe it as the PDP's worst internal crisis since 2015. From your perspective, from your end, what would you say has triggered this new round of suspensions?
Well, I think the PDP it failed basically to adhere to the internationally known principles of party supremacy and internal discipline. What is simply happening within the PDP today is that the center can no longer hold. There's no rallying force that unites the party anymore. And the party is being held by the jugular by mercenaries who are using the party to trade with the APC. And there's another group that is struggling to hold control of the party so that they can also use it to trade with the APC. So you have minority members within the party who really want the party to win in 2027. As of today, I don't think there are many people within the PDP who expect that PDP can actually win. I think that the PDP has been divided into three forces. I've mentioned two of them. The Wike forces, which, are currently trying to use the party to negotiate, are currently using the party to negotiate with the APC. And then you have the anti-Wike forces who supported Wike initially, but now they want to be the ones who are using the party to negotiate directly. And then you have the minority, which actually want PDP to play good opposition to the APC and provide an alternative to Nigerians. So that's what we are seeing playing out, is merely a reflection of those internal tensions within the party, based on the internal contradictions that have been in the party long before now. So yes, that's what I think. I think, it's been long coming. The PDP's inability to enforce party discipline and party supremacy, those are the things that have led the party into this crisis.
Right. Demola, the NWC led by Umar Damagum have accused Senator Anyanwu and others of anti-party activities. How valid really is this claim, and what does the Constitution actually say in this context?
Say that again. I didn't get that.
I said that the NWC led Umar Damagum accused Senator Anyanwu and other members of the party of anti-party activities. How valid really is this claim, and what does the Constitution actually say in this context?
Well, I think it's a major problem, because even those who are making the accusations fail to do the right thing at the right time. And that's why you now have a situation where, buccaneers and cowboys are trying to take over the party. Damagum himself failed to provide leadership and discipline for the PDP at the time that he should have failed to do. Up till now, 2 years after the last election, or more than 2 years after the last election, we've not had a post-mortem of why the PDP lost that election. We've not had a post-mortem of the events that happened leading up to the primaries. We've not had a post-mortem of it. The party simply attempted to move on without, rectifying its own faults from within. And so what that has done is that it has given leeway, it has opened a lacuna for fifth columnists to further infiltrate the party. And part of it is what we are seeing with Senator Samuel Anyanwu. Senator Samuel Anyanwu should ordinarily not be the national secretary of the party. And some of us wonder about this, right from the beginning, that this man went to contest for Imo gubernatorial elections. He has lost his seat automatically. The Southeast also insisted on it, that this seat should no longer be reserved for him. The same Damagum was the one who went ahead protecting that seat against the interests of the Southeast. They thought they were doing somebody else. They thought they were, they were being politically smart. Now the chickens have come home to roost. Senator Anyanwu, the same person who signed the declaration for national convention of the party, is now going about denying his own signature which was witnessed. His signing was witnessed by top members of the NEC at that time, of the neck of the party. So it's really disappointing, but I do blame the leadership of Ambassador Ilia Damagum for failing to provide leadership at the right time, for failing to curb anti-party activities, and for allowing the fifth columnists led by Nyesom Wike and Senator Samuel Anyanwu to come into the party and perpetrate what they are doing right now.
And really, when you talk about this lacuna itself, we've seen also that Anyanwu has also created a swift reaction by, suspending, Damagum, Ologun Agba, and others, creating what I would call a parallel leadership. Really, in your opinion, what does this mean for the party structure and the legitimacy itself? Would you say that this crisis that we're having is ideological? Would you say it's constitutional? Or is it simply another episode in PDP's long history of internal power struggles?
No, it is the beginning of the end for the People's Democratic Party as we knew it. It is the beginning of the end. Let's not deceive ourselves. There is nothing ideological about what is going on. Both of the major groups that are there, they are only looking to hijack the PDP to use it to negotiate with the APC. That is all they are trying to do. The sincere people within the PDP have moved out of PDP. Okay, the people who are sincere, who really want to play opposition, about 90% have moved out of the PDP. Maybe a remnant of about 10% is still within the PDP. What we know will happen is that whichever groups, between the Cowboys and the Buccaneers, whichever group, and I use these terms figuratively, of course, but within the PDP, whichever group wins, the other group may decide to work also against the interest of the APC. But there is nothing ideological about it. It's 100% political. Unfortunately for them, they are fighting a political contest without ground rules. The ground rules in politics must always be very, very clear. The ground rules such as anti-party activities, the ground rules such as party supremacy, the ground rules such as party discipline, those must always be supreme. But because the PDP has broken all those ground rules, what you now have within the PDP is a sort of rough fight, where they are fighting dirty, suspending and counter-suspending each other, looking for court judgments against each other. What is very, very clear in all of this is that the National Convention, which, many had been hoping to contest in, which some had even gone ahead to endorse somebody for, that National Convention may not happen. And anybody who is hoping to run on the platform of the PDP will be engulfed in crisis all the way to 2027. Because even if you go ahead, even if they stubbornly go ahead, one of the groups, if they stubbornly go ahead with the National Convention, the number of cases that have been set as landmines on the pathway of the party, those cases can explode at any time. So you can conclude your convention today, and in 2 months' time, you run into problem. If you don't run into problem in 2 months' time, you can run into problem in 6 months' time when one of the cases gets to the Supreme Court. You can run into problems in 9 months' time, you can run into problem in 1 year's time. So by that time, it might be too late for you to now look for wherever to contest. So, I think that, this is the beginning of the end for the PDP. We are seeing PDP unraveling in real time. All of this started in 2023, and the PDP failed to curb it in due time. So there is nothing absolutely ideological about what is going on. It is strictly political, but unfortunately for them, it is political without certain ground rules in place.
So that already answers my next question. So my next question was going to say that, is this a battle for control ahead of 2027, particularly over the party's presidential ticket and internal dominance? But with analysis you've made, you've clearly stated that this is the beginning of the end for PDP. So you don't see this as a battle for control ahead of 2027, do you?
Well, I mean, I explained that it's a battle for control ahead of 2027.
Mm.
But what they are looking for is not to bring the party into power in Aso Rock. What they are looking for is to hold control of the party and negotiate with Bola Tinubu. Those who are fighting Nyesom Wike today, they are jealous of the fact that he is the one who is in direct contact with the APC. Right. What they want to do is to take over the party and then use the party to negotiate with the APC. Because these guys have even forgotten that they are supposed to be the major opposition. And so that's why you're not seeing criticisms against the APC from the PDP, either side of the PDP. None of them is trying to position PDP as an opposition party. There's only a few remnants. And that's why you see governors defecting every day, because the governors don't want to be used to negotiate. They want to go in there and negotiate with themselves directly. That's why Idoye Diri would decide to go and negotiate with Bola Tinubu directly. That's why, Governor of Akwa Ibom, that's why, Peter Mba and all the rest of them, they want to go and negotiate directly because there's no wisdom in staying and using yourself to be negotiated. Wike was using them to negotiate before. Another group wants to take over the party to now go and negotiate with Bola Tinubu. And governors have decided, instead of letting ourselves be used, we are going to move out. So yes, it's a battle for 2027, but not because they want to win in 2027, because they want to negotiate with the APC in 2027, Elizabeth.
So basically negotiating too, but really, Mr. Olarenwaju, you happen to be the senior political assistant to His Excellency, the former Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar. How does this reflect on his leadership, as the most prominent figure in the party? I mean, you had mentioned he has also left, especially regarding his influence and authority within the PDP. I mean, for the longest time, he happens to be the most prominent figure in this party. How does this reflect on his leadership?
Well, for the longest time, these people have always tried to use Atiku as the whipping boy of the PDP, a party that would not work for him, in full solidarity in the last election. They kept on harping that, Atiku Abubakar is born of PDP. Well, Atiku Abubakar left PDP, and the crisis in PDP is now blowing up. It is very clear that if these men have any sense of decency, if they have any sense of history, they should look for Atiku Abubakar and say, we apologize to you, sir, for what happened in 2023. Because many of those who are now fighting Nyesom Wike today are those who encouraged him to become the monster that he has now become to the PDP. So they should, first of all, reflect and look at where did we start to get it wrong. PDP got it wrong, not when Atiku Abubakar won the ticket of the party, because winning ticket of a party is natural in politics. Atiku Abubakar did not breach any rule, okay? Where the PDP made a mistake is by not enforcing party solidarity, by allowing anti-party within its ranks. And what you are now having is that the seed that was sown in 2023 is maturing. That seed is now, it has become full grown. Okay, so everybody is now eager to hijack the party or win a sizable chunk of the party and use it to negotiate with the APC. Nobody is working for the interest of PDP as an opposition party anymore. Nobody is working for the interest of the PDP to win anymore. As for us, we believe that it is a vindication of our stance, a vindication of the stance of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who, even though he has not joined any other political party at the moment, he has expressed his support for the ADC, but he is not fully a card-carrying member yet. So he simply left PDP that, look, let the mess in PDP, let it be revealed. And that mess is becoming revealed every day. It's a shame, but as far as we are concerned, we are no longer a part of the mess going on there. We have, however, have our eyes on the party. We believe that there is a remnant, that there are still some patriots within the party who genuinely believe in opposition politics. We will work with those regardless of wherever we go, and we'll work with them. But as far as the main PDP structure is concerned, we have nothing to do with that anymore.
And what are your thoughts really on the significance of the legal angle, especially on who holds legitimate authority in this party? We've seen that the judiciary has been referenced by both sides, especially Justice Omotosho's ruling. We've seen how that panned out. So what really is the significance of the legal angle in determining who holds legitimacy in this party?
So the accurate angle of the law is that the internal affairs of a political party remains the internal affairs of the political party. However, what we have today is a situation where certain judges are making pronouncements that appear to favor one side within the party. The legal angle is simple. It is that the entire affairs of a political party rests within that political party. However a political party wants to conduct itself, that is how it should conduct itself. But some people within the party are bringing up judgments, such as the judgment against the National Convention, for example. It's a surprise, that somebody ruled on that prematurely. But again, there are still a number of cases that will come up. My view of it is that legally, the court should be saying, go and resolve your matters as a political party. Unfortunately, you have some legal meddlesomeness, going on where judgments are flying here and there, and the whole thing becomes confusing. Because remember, even the national legal advisor of the party, the national legal advisor of the party was suspended by one of the factions. I'm not sure which faction he belongs to now, whether it's this side or the other side. But it's unfortunate, like I said. However, the correct legal position of the courts should be that the affairs of a political party must remain the internal affairs of that political party. But we are seeing, both sides procuring court judgments every day, and it is an unfortunate development.
Well, Mr. Olarenwaju, right now, I mean, you're talking from the point of being a political analyst, not from the point of being, a member of PDP or whatnot. What are some of the realistic steps that you would say could actually reunite the PDP and restore the confidence among its members and its supporters at this time?
Well, I think that the PDP needs to revisit 2023. PDP needs to revisit the fact of 5 governors within the party working against the party. I think that's the disappointment, because when you fail to instill internal discipline within a party, what you have is the situation that you have now, where people work against the party without fear of consequence. Okay, that's what is going on within the PDP now. So it needs to be revisited. All those who worked against the party need to be penalized. Okay, everybody who calls themselves a member of the PDP must pledge allegiance to the PDP or be suspended or expelled. By continually harboring within its ranks people who are working against its interests, PDP will continue to be in crisis. So the party, as a matter of urgency, if it wants to resuscitate itself, like I said, we have left, it's no longer our business, but as a political analyst, as you said, my advice will simply be revisit 2023. Revisit the fact that regardless of how anybody emerges within a political process, regardless of the position, regardless of what you think, if you do not believe in the candidate of the party, then you leave the party. You don't stay within a party and work against the party. By allowing people to stay within the party and work against the party, the PDP has completely ruled itself out of being a serious political party, because no serious organization, okay, anywhere in the world, no serious organization can function effectively unless everybody is moving towards the same goal. What you have in PDP today is a situation where the left hand is working against the right hand, the right hand is working against the left hand, and you have to go back to where it started, which is the 2023 election. Okay, they have to go back, look at that election, declare that anybody who worked against the party needs to be penalized. And then perhaps the PDP needs to apologize to Atiku Abubakar himself for working for allowing those who worked against him to continue to hold the party by the jugular. Then Nigerians can consider them a serious opposition party.
Thank you very much, Demola Olarenwaju, Senior Political Assistant and to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and seasoned political analyst. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on the big story today.
Thank you very much. It's always my pleasure to be with you.
Right. Thank you so much. This has been The Big Story right here on the BDTV Breakfast Show. Up next is Social Listening. Do stay with us.